Most of us assume that we have a pretty good bead on things, that we are informed on the world around us and how we all got here, and that we have all the information we need to live our lives. But what if we are wrong? What if there is a world of secrets and stranger than fiction truths out there that we are unaware of and that we are secretly longing to know? Things that once you hear them, you will have to say, "I did not know that." The word time is part of our language in a way that is hard to explain. It denotes everything, it records everything, and it is part of everything we do. Today, time is based on an atomic strontium clock at the Institute for Measurements and Standards, and it is so precise that it will not lose 1 second in 5,000 years. Time and its best known keeper, the wristwatch, are so ingrained in our lives that we never even stop to question how we got here. Yet, time was once a very scarce commodity. And did you know that before crystals and strontium, before gears and winders, before hourglasses, and way before even the sundial, time was kept by another means that was the cutting edge of the times? And just how long have we been doing this? Try over 6,000 years. And back then, the watch was made of water. Set the Wayback Machine for 4100 BCE. The place, ancient Mesopotamia, currently known as the less impressive Iraq. The people, the Sumerians, the world's oldest culture. And the thing? The water clock. The Sumerians calculated that the day was approximately 24 hours and that each hour was 60 minutes long. They used the sun, the stars, and a water clock to keep track of time. Water clocks use the gradual flow of water from one container to another to measure time. This was the predecessor of the hourglass. A few thousand years later, the ancient Egyptians also introduced a 24-hour time system around 1500 to 1069 BC, but the length of these hours varied depending on the time of the year, longer in summer than in winter. These measurements of time were based on the sun, with 12 parts during the day and another 12 parts at night. The Egyptians started using sundials to represent the time system around 1000 to 800 BC. Since sundials cannot tell the time at night, they still used water clocks after dark. It would be 2,000 years later in China, where Sun Song is famous for having designed and constructed a mechanical clock tower almost 40 feet high by adding a chain-driven mechanism to the existing water-powered clock. The clock told not only the time of the day, but also the day of the month, the phase of the moon, and the position of certain stars and planets in the sky. 500 years after that, Peter Heinlein, a German clockmaker and locksmith, is often credited with inventing the watch in the 1500s. Heinlein's clock watches were worn around the neck and were more like ornamental jewelry than a reliable timepiece. And then just 400 years hence, the 1960s, the quartz watch was invented, which ran on electricity and kept time with vibrating quartz crystals. And by the 1980s, quartz watches took over the marketplace from mechanical watches. And lastly, from the late 80s to just the past few years, we have had a few watches that might be keeping time in quartz, but they are powered by, you guessed it, water, which is, to quote an old saying, that everything old is new again. So now you know that.